welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to do a starter called a zakwas, which is the base for a Polish soup called Zurek. It's a very interesting sour soup, really delicious, and the zakwas is a fermented starter, and I need to make it 5 days ahead of the soup. In Poland, you can go to the grocery store and purchase zakwas, but I'm not going to find that at my local Safeway. So I'm going to make it myself. So the soup is just a really rich and hearty Polish soup. Poland has, first of all, let me tell you, I'm starting with a cup of dried rye bread crusts that I've chopped up into this jar that has a tight seal. It goes. While we were in Poland, I did not go to Poland expecting the food to be so amazing. It really was amazing, and very lots of comfort food, you know, stewed meats and lots of soups and my kind of food, really hearty and rich. Into the 1 cup of breadcrumbs, rye breadcrumbs, goes 2 cups of warm water, not hot, just warm. In it goes. We're adding a 1/2 cup of rye flour. Oopsie, let's get it all. And this is 2 pretty good size garlic cloves that I've already chopped. All right, in it goes. Now, I'm going to stir that up. And I'm going to close the seal. Obviously, I didn't need this big of a jar, but it was all that I had, because you really want it to be tight. You could use like a ball canning jar. I just didn't want to have one handy with a good lid. This does not go in the fridge. This is going to sit on the counter for 4 to 5 days. I'm going to open it once a day and stir it. And after 4 to 5 days, it'll be ready to be the base of my soup, which of course I'm going to share that with you when the time comes. When you're ready to use it, you might open it up. It might have a little bit of a film or scum on the top, even some mold, and that's okay. Just scrape that off because it's all the good stuff underneath that you're going to want. So 4 or 5 days from now, I'll be back to teach you how to make Zurek soup. See you later. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been 5 days since we started our zakwas, and let me say again, I probably am not pronouncing that right, and anybody who's Polish will probably be offended by my pronunciation. But the zakwas has been sitting and fermenting for 5 days, and it smells so earthy and lots of garlic smell, but it smells really good. It smells of the forest, and I think it's going to be delicious. So again, Zurek Soup, which is not spelled like the city. It is spelled Z-U-R-E-K. This is a, we're going to drain this, by the way. This is a soup that doesn't have a chicken or beef broth base. Instead, it has this wonderful fermented bread base, and that's what gives it both its flavor and its name. Zurek is a sour bread soup. So in the meantime, on the stove, I have 2 liters of water with 2 garlic cloves and some sausage. And into this, just water, no broth. Also, 2 teaspoons of allspice, and I have 4 dry shiitake mushrooms. And then we're going to remove the sausage and add the zakwas. But in the meantime, we'll watch this and let it drain, and I'll be right back. Okay, our zakwas has been dripping through this really small sieve here. And amazingly, we've got about 1.5 cups, which is quite a bit more than I thought we were going to get. when I looked at it in the beginning. So I'm happy with that. And we only need a cup. You can keep this in the fridge, I guess, for up to a couple of weeks. But I doubt I will be making the soup again in the next couple of weeks. So I'll probably just throw out the extra. So there's a cup. Yeah, not that much extra. So that is our zakwas. Ugh, very yummy smelling. Smells mostly of garlic, but also of other delicious earthy ingredients. I love it. It smells really good. Okay, so our sausages have been boiling for about 15 minutes with some spices and the dried mushroom. We're going to bring them over here. We are going to remove the sausages to a plate. And then we're going to pour the broth through another sieve here, pretty hot, and get all the large pieces of spices as well as the mushrooms out of the broth. Okay, now we're going to set aside the mushrooms because we are going to cut them up later and use them as a garnish on top of the soup when we serve it. So we have now that beautiful broth, which is going to go back into the pan. Whoops, my bay leaf is stuck in here. Ooh, so hot. Go back into our pan. Our zakwas is going to go into the broth. And we're now going to put it back onto the stove on low to simmer for about 20-30 minutes. And I'm not really sure how I tell when this is done, except that the aroma is one way, and also it's going to condense, so it won't be quite as watery. And in the meantime, we'll let the sausages cool down because we're gonna slice them up in a little bit. So that's it for a minute. We'll be right back. So our Zurek soup has been simmering, actually I might call it a low boil, for about an hour. It's taking longer than I thought, but it's now reduced to about half, and it's really a lovely broth. So I'm now adding about a tablespoon of marjoram, and the recipe says to taste. I just tested it and I don't think it needs any more salt. It's fairly salty now that it's reduced, but I am gonna add some fresh ground black pepper. Now I'm just gonna let that go just a little bit longer, and then I'll show you how we serve it. Okay, our soup is ready to be plated, and it smells really good. It's nice and rich and earthy smell. Even though it's summertime, this does sort of seems like a wintry soup, but I think it's going to be really good and delicious. And I'm going to serve it with just some grapes and a salad I've had marinating in the fridge. Zucchini, red pepper, and onion salad with some vinaigrette. And hopefully this soup is just going to round out that meal nicely. So the first time I had this soup was in Poznan, Poland. And I had it several times while I was in Poland. The first time being my most favorite. And I didn't know what I was eating. I think I said that earlier. So I really had to study up on it. But this is a beautiful fermented sour bread soup. I've never had anything like it or made anything like it. But this broth is really lovely now. We had to make the sour starter, which took about 5 days. Reducing the broth took about an hour. And I skimmed the foam off the top before I put it in the bowl. So now we have cooked the bratwurst earlier. It goes straight into the bowl, just like that. Can you see it? We have our lovely shiitake mushrooms, which I bought dried. Those sprinkle on top. They're nice and moist now. And then each bowl is topped with a boiled egg right on top, almost like ramen would be. And there we have it. This beautiful, beautiful soup. It's a big bowl. This is really, could have served 4 people, but we're having it for a dinner, so we've got a double serving here. And again, from Poland, probably something you've never seen in a restaurant unless you've been to Poland, but one of my favorite things I discovered while traveling in beautiful Poland, one of my favorite countries. So I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make Zurek soup, and I hope you'll give it a try. So thanks for joining me once again in my kitchen. Have a great day.